Good morning, my lovelies. Megan Lynn here. It's definitely humid in Phoenix. I am in the Valley of the Sun, but it's been cloudy for the last 3 days, which is a reprieve. I really appreciate the clouds. It kind of gives us all a break here. So today I kind of wanted to talk about dark entities. I know that there's a lot of just mystery and fear and just people who don't have a lot of knowledge regarding different entities and dark ones and maybe how to protect yourself. So I don't typically, the protection methods that I'm going to give you guys is going to be for somebody who just doesn't have a lot of experience with them, somebody who wants to do general cleansing, things like that. I don't use it so much anymore just because, when you do it professionally, you don't really need it. So I did want to talk to you guys about different entities. So there are differences. Everybody thinks ghosts are all the same, and then there's ghosts and demons are ghosts and this, that, or the other. I did go through an entities video in the past, so I'll kind of not go through it again. I've had a lot of experiences with and I had an experience just the other day, just with clients, with friends, people around me. I see things constantly. So if you can imagine how hard it is for me to human sometimes and do your 9 to 5 when you're constantly seeing energy, you're seeing spirits, you're getting messages. So as far as being a medium and an intuitive, the difference between certain ones, you guys have human spirits and you have entities. Entities are a completely different breed, and there are a bunch of different kinds, but as far as lower level entities, dealing with, so ghosts and spirits, those can be residual ghosts, so residual energy or residual hauntings are just an energy that's been almost pressed in that location for a really long time, and it just kind of repeats itself, because the more that you do something, or the more that something is a ritual, that energy kind of anchors itself. So residual hauntings and things like that, it's simply energy. It's not necessarily conscious ghosts, conscious spirits. There are conscious ones that were human that are still here, so there's certain reasons why they're stuck here. But those ones can be conscious, they can do things, but there's something that has been human at some point, so whether they're stuck here because they were, it's because they anchored a certain energy here. When you move on to the afterlife, you move on to whatever your God is, whatever you believe is there, whatever you believe is there for you. That's honestly what I feel like as of, what the passing energy is when you guys pass away. It's whatever energy you've anchored within yourself. It's your evolution and your God spot. So in passing away and things like that, there is a definite afterlife. You just go to whichever one is the vibration that you've surround yourself with. Moving forward for the darker entities. So I work a lot with dark entities. I don't work with them. I banish them for the most part. But when you go into different locations, demons, dark entities, mischievous entities, things like that, really don't have a lot of power. And that's what I keep trying to reiterate to everybody. The more you fear these things, the more that you feed them. And it was funny because my friend had a situation the other day, and it's a perfect example of it. So we were at work, and I was sitting at my desk, and I looked over and I saw this interesting entity I hadn't come in contact with before. And if any of you have been in contact with a Loki, it honestly was just very funny to me. But I was staring at it, and it had kind of a purpley kind of energy to it, and I looked over, and it was kind of when kids are just messing around with each other or playing tricks or things like that. He was just kind of like this over at my coworker. And the funny thing about it is that I looked at it and I was staring at it for a little bit, And I didn't say anything at first, and then I said, well, that's really strange. And she goes, what? And I said, well, you have a very mischievous energy around you right now, like an entity. And so by saying entity, for some reason she thought it was a ghost. And I said, no, it's like this, like, he's like kind of shorter man child, I can't really tell. And I said, and he's kind of like he's fucking with you. And she goes, oh my gosh, she goes, my arms have been burning, and I didn't want to say anything because I thought it was really weird. And I said, no, he's there. And she goes, well, make him go away. And the thing with that is I can definitely go in and I can make something go away. I can banish dark entities. I can command them. But when it comes to things like that, the fact of the matter is that once she found that out, she got really weirded out because she was experiencing something, but she was also creeped out by it. And when you guys have fear, when you guys are weirded out by it, and when you get this thing in your head, it feeds the entity. It gives them more power and more energy. So the funny thing about that is I was like, well, I did tell him to go away. And I said, and I can banish him, but he keeps saying that you're feeding him. So you need to stop feeding him. Like, these things don't have power. Like, stop being weirded out and just kind of put it out of your head. And I said, if he's not gone by the evening, I'll send the big dogs out. And I did communicate that to the entity. So around, like 8:30 at night, I did, so the thing that I work with two energies very strongly for situations like that. So one of them is Christ. I work with Christed energy. That is the light love. That is the ultimate thing that low level entities are afraid of, is that Christ Christed energy. I also work with Anubis. Anubis is people who come from a past life of priestessness. Worked with Anubis. The Anubis is, everybody's really afraid of him, but he is the judger of hearts. He's also the commander of the underworld, and he helped defeat a bad power with the army of the underworld. So when Anubis gets on the scene, other low-level entities are very afraid of him. And I don't use it for fear. What he does is he locates for me. Anubis is a locator. He works in shadow. So typically if I'm going to go into a location, and I've had experience with this before, I take Christed energy with me, and I take Anubis's shadow energy with me. So for people who are talking about duality, I feel like in order for you to be really effective at this vertical, if you're looking for work or anything like that, you have to be a true master of working with the light and the dark. So anybody who's experiencing that, I don't mean dark as in negative. I don't do anything that's negative. Anubis works in, I'll go on a location and it's nighttime, and Anubis works in the shadows. The darker the energy and the darker the location, the quicker he can locate it. And it is a true, like, it's almost like echolocation. I can't explain it. These entities exist on a frequency. I believe it's something that dogs can hear. But when there is an entity, or there's all different kinds of demons, all different kinds of low vibrational entities. They do operate on this frequency, and I can hear the frequency once it's in my presence. So when I do get on a scene, the funny thing about my friend's situation was that I did let the entity know that if it didn't go away, and I told my friend this, that I was gonna send the big dog after him. The funny thing about that, so I did some research. So Loki, I've honestly never heard, and I don't know if you guys have watched the new Thor Ragnarok movie, but Loki is actually the mischievous god in that movie, and I've never gotten that energy before. I've gotten, a lot of low-level entities, just so you guys know, like, they're not that smart. They're manipulative. They're like children. A lot of times when I get on the scene, they get real quiet and they hide. So for the most part, you're going to find them in a closet or something like that. But yeah, I got into, I I got home and I turned on the TV, and what freaking movie was on but Thor Ragnarok, and Loki was in it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's just like messing with me right now, you know. But yeah, I did let him know that the big dog would be coming, which would be Anubis. He's actually a jackal. But the funny thing about it is I did some research. Loki is actually a Roman god of mischief, and his biggest fear is actually this other dog of the underworld as well. So it's very interesting when I start researching these, how different timelines and different cultures blend a lot of their gods and deities. It's very interesting. But I did check, you know, afterwards to see if the entity had gone, and he had at that point at nighttime at 8:30. And she goes, no, he did leave me alone the next day. And I said, no, I know, I checked on you just to make sure, you know, I didn't want you to be freaked out. But just so you guys know, as far as like low level entities, there's different things that you can do to protect yourself against them. But they're really not powerful. But if you're just coming into your power, what I would suggest to you, and I always have them with me, is using like things like Palo Santo. So if you guys, I like Palo Santo over sage because it smells like campfires. It smells really awesome. And also the reason why smokes are effective is because smokes permeate. Smokes, I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever been around somebody who smokes cigarettes. Like, even if, like, they just did a couple puffs outside, usually you can still smell it on them, and it's because it permeates. So I suggest Palo Santo. It smells really awesome, you guys. It also, the smell doesn't last as long as sage, and I feel like sage just kind of smells like weed, and I don't like that smell in my house. But yeah, so I would suggest using Palo Santo if you're kind of coming into your own, you're having experiences, things like that. Also, black tourmaline. I don't know if you guys can see this. Black tourmaline is black. This was black when I started with it. I've had it for quite a while. Why are you? Jeez, this guy, so rude. People are bad drivers. So rude. Anyway, this is a tourmaline. So just so you guys know, black also absorbs. So people who think black is a negative color, it's not. Black, if you think of a black hole, it sucks in. So this sucks in negativity, and you'll notice some other taking stones like this will start to turn color. They'll start to turn color after they've absorbed a certain amount. So this one's, I've had this for quite a while though. This is absorbed a lot. So I just kind of wanted to show you guys that. But this was all black when I started. So it's very interesting. Also, if you guys are looking for things that permeate, you can try like a sage spray. Sometimes I just spray this around me because I honestly just like the smell. It kind of calms me down. It's got like citrine, hematite, very grounding, protective, and then there's also sage in here too. You guys can spray this on you. Also, any sort of sprays or waters are very cleansing. So I'd suggest kind of doing that, maybe putting it into your daily routine if you guys are starting to experience things and you don't know how to handle them. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about dark entities, shed a little bit of light to them. They're not very powerful. I have experienced, like, when I get on a scene, so if any of you need any sort of services as far as like banishing lower level entities from your house or anything like that, I don't have to do that. I can do it remotely, so I'll do it like with a remote viewing. Anubis can find pretty much anything anywhere. I'll typically do those at night because we can find them faster. If I really feel I have had a couple experiences with very powerful entities, a lot of this has to do with well, not powerful, I wouldn't call them powerful, but they're more powerful than other ones, like true demons, true things like that. They are adept at opening portals. They will create a portal, or they come out of portals. People who have summoned them here will leave the portals open, things like that. When you get a situation like that, I will go on scene. I've cleared a lot of dark entities not on scene, but I will go on scene for that. And there's something about walking into a location with such darkness, physically, your physical presence. There's something about it that's really commanding to these low-level entities, and it's because they know what you are, and it sends them a clear message when you do it. So I can't say I've gone onto like locations and they're like, wow, everything stopped when you got here. It's because they know what I am, and usually they do stupid stuff. They just hide. They're like little children. Also demons and things like that, just so you guys know for the future, they're just manipulative. They're just like manipulative people. Like if they put things, they put information into your surrounding environment that's not true. So maybe they'll create sounds or things like that that will kind of mess with your sense of reality. They do that a lot too. So they're honestly really not that smart. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions about demons or low-level entities or how you can protect yourself from them, you can also wear a citrine. I actually have a citrine ring on today, oddly enough. I didn't think about that. But if you want any more information about those, feel free to email me at wmegan939@gmail.com. I'll be doing I think Leo's birthday is coming up, so I'm going to be doing the Leo reading for your birthday, so happy birthday, Leo. And if you guys want to email me, it's wmegan939@gmail.com. I'm redoing all my YouTube right now, so it'll be a lot more functional and a lot easier to navigate on my page. So I love you guys, and we will talk soon. Bye.